through. Is this making me live stream from this direction? Oh no, everybody, I want to live stream from this way. But it's like operation locked. Oh no, boo. Okay, well I'm gonna see, I'm trying to see if I'm actually live right now. I don't see anybody in the chat group yet. Oh yeah, I can see my own, it's very meta right now. I can see my own thumbnail. I'm gonna mute this. I basically wanna have this on my computer beside me so that I can talk to everybody here and then like look at the comments on the side. There we go. Owl Cat says hello. Ready for this meta? That's Andy G says hi. Jade the Squeak says hello. We have got Sarah Zach, Your Fan 7, Atlanta Glow. We got Petri. We got Batskin 925. Yes, it is third year in a row, Umeshu, actually. Okay, so now here's what I'm trying to figure out. I wanted to live stream this way. But look, it says orientation's locked. Is this like some new fandangle thing that I'm not aware of, that everything has to go from this direction? Man, konnichiwa, ko. Well, I guess maybe we're gonna have to live stream from this direction, which I didn't expect actually. You guys can hear me okay though. I'll reset up the orientation then. So basically here's what's up, as to not lie about the title of it. So this is my last year Umeshu, right here. This is all that I have left. I had 2 containers, right? Here and here. And basically, June is the only time of month in Japan where the green plums themselves are ready. And so the green plums are what you use to make plum wine and what you use to make umeboshi, which is like that salty, sometimes sweet, dried plum. And if you miss that window, it's like, that's it, it's gone. And so I made the mistake, I think last year or the year before, I didn't catch it in time. And I also got screwed up when it came to yuzu. I wanted to make a yuzu drink, but it's gone. So as soon as you see it, you just got to snatch it up and start making it as soon as possible. All the grannies out there are like, we're going to make umeshu. I'm like, don't forget about us youngins. Oh, hello, Jennifer Holloway. Good to see you over here. Konja says, I put down my crochet to see you. You can crochet at the same time. Basically, this process is easy, but just a bit tedious. And so usually I do it alone. I just listen to music or like an audiobook, but I thought, why don't you all join me while I make umeshu this year? And that way we can just chat and catch up depending on where you are in the world. Tell me what's going on. And yeah, then you are technically part of my umeshu process. That's what's going to happen. So hello to Dean and Christy from the Philippines. What's up, Gabriel? Hello, Peter Smith. Hello. Hi, M. Gray. Thank you so much, yes, for sticking around. All right, I'm gonna go to the kitchen. I didn't actually even message this. I was gonna put this up on Instagram, which I feel like, how am I supposed to do this while I'm here? If I minimize this, let's see if I disappear. It might disappear. Ready? Really disappeared. I have no idea if it went up online or not, but okay, well, since we're doing it this way, let me flip you guys around. Can I flip the camera while? Oh, I can. Sweet. Hello, Arnie in the Flesh. What up, Josh? Hello, Quentin X from New Zealand and Ash Breyer Wolf. This is some plum good luck. I appreciate that. All right, so I've been soaking these puppies. Basically what you do is you soak them to supposedly remove some of the bitterness. I don't know if this is true or if it's an old wives' tale, but I learned this from Cooking with Dog, and I trust her because she is a Japanese old woman. Well, I shouldn't say she's old. Chef is not very old, but she's been doing, you know, stuff like this for so long, and I trust her. I'm so sorry for calling you old. It was terrible. I mean, she's old, but she's not like a bad old, but anyhow, so now that I have soaked them, I'm just going to strain them and we're going to head back to the table where I'm going to pick out every single stem manually. That's why I wanted you guys to join me. All right, let's get the straining on. Dun, 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 dun. This I was supposed to do hands-free without you guys, but if you're joining me now, my phone is locked in this orientation and it is actually not locked. It can move, so I have no idea why this is happening. There we go. Now the question is going to be, how am I going to set this up so that, since it's this direction? Okay, here we go. Everyone is going to get a bit knocked about while I hook this onto the stand. Here's hoping I don't hang up on you all. Ah! Okay. It worked. It worked, I think. I'm so sideways. Okay, hang on. Hang on. Chotto matte kudasai. I am so sideways. There we go. Let's go a little lower maybe. How's that feel? Oh, pretty good. Okay, nice. So you guys can see what I'm doing, and then I can see you guys over here on the computer, so I can actually chat over here. Success, Kathy T. Yes. Gabriel says, what time is it for you? It is 3:53 p.m. I have been editing in the morning. I'm finishing off a Yokohama tours video, and I've also got some Kyoto footage as well. So I've got like so much editing, and I was like, I have to get this done or else I will miss out on Plum season. So I want to make sure I can get this done and chat with everybody. Okay, so here's what we got going on. All my stuff. Basically, these plums need to be hand dried. So I need to I have a microfiber towel here, and I also have just like a normal cloth. You just kind of dry each one of them, and you're going to kind of look them over. You can see what they look like. They're quite hard. If you try to bite into this now, it's quite crunchy. And in the center there is that little pit. And so you basically take the inside there and you just take a toothpick and you just pop it out like that. It's that easy. Can you guys see it? And then you dump it in like that. So that's what you have to do for all of them. Usually you look them over to make sure that they're not covered in any blemishes or bruises, because that will go into your plum wine and kind of rot things. And so basically I'm just going to hand dry each of these, put them down here to dry, and pick up the pit from each and every single one of them while I chit chat with y'all. Hello, Barbara Bond. Yay, Umeshu. Batskin925. How you been, Martina? I've been pretty good. Just really tired. It's been a massive typhoon-y week. I know the typhoon has hit a lot of people in Asia. Not all of Asia, but lots of Asia got hit. And it's just been like heavy air and wet and humid, and the next day it's like kind of chilly and you're like, it's done, and it's not. So it's been quite a blustery week or so. So if you've been visiting Japan in June, you probably have experienced a lot of wet feet lately. Definitely. Tariq says, have you tried this method with North American plums? I haven't, but the plums I experienced in North America, and let me know where you guys are from and your experiences. The plums I experienced are purple and often pretty soft, and you can eat them as is. Like you can just kind of twist them in half and eat them. And I used to have them all the time, and my granddaddy and nana used to jar and pickle and sugar their plums. And so you'd have like almost like jars of whole sugar plums that you could eat on top of, let's say, like yogurt and stuff. But I've never seen the green ones, but I didn't try looking, right? Has anyone tried looking for them? Jules Meneki Neko says, plum wine tradition. That's right. It is going strong. I will definitely try it in North America. And at some point, I'll probably end up back in Canada. Then I'll be able to do all this research for you guys in North America from the perspective of someone who's like, I must make this. I must make this. Mark Miles says, your baseball video was such great vibes. So great to see you having fun. We even got to see Dan. Yes, I was really surprised because I have friends here, right, of all types. They're not YouTubers. Not saying that I'm not friends with YouTubers, but my friends that I hang out with are not YouTubers. And I don't want to ever assume that people want to be on camera or that they want to have their life on camera. Like it, it changes your life, and it can, even if it's just like once or twice, right? So I never want to assume. And Dan is not wanting to be on camera to begin with. And I didn't want to ruin, like, oh, we're going out to this baseball game opening of the year. Like, oh, I don't want to like suggest filming, and then he's against it. And then he feels awkward and like, oh, I've got to film. But he was just like, oh yeah, if you want to film like today, it would be fine. It doesn't bother me. I was like, oh, really? So we went for the filming, and I was so glad to share it. Yokohama Bay Stars won the next day, but lost when we were there. Thanks, James Slice, for that peach. Jamie from the UK, Jamie the heavy metal magic man. Konja, build a ladder squad. That's right. I got lots of people with their sparkling build a ladders in this chat. That makes me very, very happy. NAA says, I believe we have them in Saudi Arabia. It's a little dry and crunchy like an apple, and we call it knar or khnar. How do you pronounce a K in Arabic? Is it k, like k, or k? I've learned now all the different ways that you can say things, right? A is not an A in every country. It can be an ah or an or, you know. Hi, Moon Goddess. AP says, hi, Martina. Have you ever been to Okinawa? I'm going this September. Do you have any tips? I have been to Okinawa, and my friend just got married in Okinawa, actually. And if you're going in September, basically just prepare for the fact that the weather is changeable. It's a very small island. You're in the ocean. And just because it's a cloudy day does not mean that it's not going to be a good day. I really enjoyed myself in Okinawa, and I went during the rainy season, and it was just like, just total. I went there because it was cheaper. And it was just like insane rain, but it was still warmish. And I brought a wetsuit, like long pants that are for swimming. How did this happen? Can you guys see? It's like magically floating. Is it a piece of cloth or something? It might be some cloth. Yeah, and if you can rent a car because it's easier to get around and like adventure. So definitely. Let's see. Honeydew So said, have you ever had a wax apple? I tried one the first time today and it was so yummy. A wax apple. Is it small? Like, is it the size of these kind of things? Or is it like a much larger type of apple? I'm gonna, William Chen, you pat those plum dries, Martina. I will pat all these drums dry. These plums dry. Gabriel says, you're going off to bed, but hope the wine is delish. We will find out in 9 months if it's delish. As long as it doesn't rot, I am happy. That's about it, right? Oh, NNA said you pronounce it like a regular K, like you said it right. Knar. Neat. Oh, I wonder, like, there must be a lot of these types of equivalent fruit in different parts of the world. I think like crab apples in Canada, they grow on a tree that looks like a cherry blossom tree. I think they're edible and not poisonous. And I imagine that they could make some kind of like a, you know, this kind of a wine, because it's so inedible outside of having it soaking with alcohol and sugar, basically. So, all right. Also, these are for soba. These are for my soba that I serve on. You put your like wet, cold soba on top of this, and so it kind of drains and doesn't sit in water. But I find it a very multi-use item, in my personal opinion. Amanda Kagel says, "Are you excited to see Memer soon? I can't wait to see the fluffy prince again. I am." So excited. I talk to Beavers on the phone a lot with my mom, and he's very chit-chatty. And then afterwards, he goes down to the basement into my bedroom and like caterwauls looking for me. And my mom tells me this every time. And every time I'm like, I'm sorry, Beavers. But he is much healthier. And that's the most important thing, because I'm not about to put that poor, wonderful cat onto another 14-hour flight. And you got to go early to check your cat in. And just like, nah, he doesn't need that stress. He's been living his best life. Oh, Memers has a flirtatious girlfriend cat. Her name is Rosie, and she lives just outside the window. She's a bit of like a wild cat with one eye. And she comes up to the window ledge and sits on the window ledge and chats with Memers, and Memers chats with her. And at first they hated each other. So when I was there last time, they like looked at each other through the window, and I was petting Rosie outdoors, and Memers was like, "What? How dare you?" Like he was furious from the window. And I was like, "Don't worry, buddy. It's not a betrayal." And he's like, "It looks like it." But now they're like all cute, and he looks for her. It's really, really cute. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Let me scroll back up again. Dominic, yeah, go to sleep. I know this is a pretty wild like time of day for most people. Unless you're in the Asia sphere, this is not going to be really a good time for you guys. Yeah. Alina says, I've always wanted to try making umeshu after my first homemade one from a Japanese restaurant in San Francisco. I wonder if there are any alternatives to ume fruit. For sure there are. Actually, the side of the container, let me just show you this. Oh, this one's already picked off. The side of the container that you use, the alcohol here, you can use vodka or any white alcohol that has a high proof. Look at the side of this, all the suggestions they make. So they've got quince fruit, strawberries, yuzu, lemon. They've also got ume, apple, apricot, or kumquat, and garlic. Who doesn't want some good old fashioned garlic? Look here, gross. But anyways, maybe good for your health. Thank you so much for super chatting, Nick McMellon. I hope your last name is really McMellon, because that is a fantastic name. If my last name was McMellon, I'd be like branded in my own McMillan designs and stuff. But anyways, good name regardless if it's real or not. Oh, and thank you for hello Melanie for joining the King Kogi memberships. Welcome as a passenger. If you are new to King Kogi memberships or you're not new, a lot of people don't know that the posts go up on the community tab on YouTube. And then if you're on Patreon, it's separate, but they're the same ones, just divided. So check there, because I update them, but I have no way to like know if people can actually see them or not, except for the people commenting. But yes. Rithika Bakshar says it is 12:30 p.m. lunchtime in Mumbai, India. Oh, see, it's perfect. Everyone on the Asia sphere, the New Zealands and Australia and what is it called? APAC, Asian Pacific region. That includes India and like Thailand and everybody. My Life by Julia in Real Life says, King Kogi, your clothing looking real cute. It's 3:30 a.m. here. Thank you. This is my own design. This is King Kogi jokingly pretending to be a high-end brand. And this is like the King Kogi pattern. I've tried it out on shoes. And this design has specifically come out because I mentioned this a while ago. I made a ramen wrap. Just don't ask. It just came to me one day. I wrote it down, really liked it, put lyrics to it, everything. It's literally a ramen wrap. And I wanted to have like, you know how rappers wear like Chanel or Prada or whatever, and they're trying to be all like cool. So I thought, why don't I make my own print? So I did this print, and I have a baby blue version, and I have shoes that match it, and a whole tracksuit. So one day I'm going to film this ridiculous rap video, which will only remain amongst this community. We are not to spread it elsewhere. Only you guys can judge me on this. We need to not let anyone else know this exists because it's too embarrassing. Yet I am still proud of it. It is a whole rap about ramen. But yeah, so there's going to be a Gangster Martina that's going to make a comeback. I guess it's like the bunnies are puffy version of me. Traveler in Bleu, hi from London. Hello. I'm wondering what time of day it is for you. Let me scroll back down here. Batskins Martina, would you consider doing a meetup in Canada? I would drive from Seattle to meet you. Oh, that's very sweet. I loved Seattle. I did that Seattle meetup with Eat Your Kimchi Times, and that was amazing. The America trip was just unbelievable. Very tiring, but unbelievable. I don't know because I don't have a ton of time. In my Instagram post online, I said I was going to Canada in June, but I meant to say July. So I fixed it on my Discord, but I was too late. The post was already up. My mom was like, "You're coming in June?" I was like, "No," and so I screwed that up. So I don't have a ton of time, and I'm catching up with my mom and everybody. Like my mom is, you know, she's getting older. She'll kill me if I mention her age, but so, you know, I'd like to spend more time with her if I can. So I'm kind of in that mindset at the moment. Let's see all the time periods we got going on here. Maya Nick says, hello, Martina. I hear after a long day of work. It's New York City, 3 a.m. Oh my goodness. You just got back from work? That's a very long or early shift, if you will. 3 a.m. in the USA, getting ready to go to work. It's 9 a.m. in Spain, says Arashi Awaji. We've got Traveler in Blue saying it's 8 a.m. in London town. Eternity 586 says it's 3 a.m. in Montreal. Ragnarok says, what about Hacker Man? Hacker Woman, if I believe, and she's her own kind of special gangster, right? Midnight in Vegas. Oh, we've got Evie McGarry who says, I got my job in Okinawa. I owe a lot of my beginning ESL teaching journeys to EYK, so thank you. Oh, that's great. I hope it's given you some confidence. I mean, nowadays, you know, there are so many resources online. I think that I hope at least that the teaching world online, especially for ESL and stuff in Asia, has kind of expanded a bit. You know, back in the day when I was putting up stuff on EYK, it was like, I didn't really have any resources myself. And so it kind of felt like, well, anything I learn, I'll just put it up online and kind of pay it forward as teachers do. Oh my God, we're almost at the bottom of this, you see? We've got 10 a.m. in Saudi Arabia. We've got 8 a.m. in Portugal. We've got 12 a.m. in San Francisco from Chan Pretty. It's 2:06 a.m. Midwest time. Must be Midwest USA is my guess. 4:06 p.m. South Korea. That's right, Leslie. 9 a.m. in Sweden, national holiday. So Tiemon just got up. Oh, national holiday. Ragnarok wants to know if I'm still keeping up with F1. Of course I'm keeping up with F1. I just saw this weekend in Spain and really wanted Alonso and Plum to win, or Carlos Sainz. Instead, it was a Mercedes P2, 2 and 3, which is fine. I like Hamilton a lot. I like his attitude. I think he is a good chap. He's a good lad. And we already know Max Verstappen's going to get first. So for me, I just go like, first place Max Verstappen. And then I just pretend it doesn't exist. And I go, but who will get actual first place, which is second, third, and fourth, because that car and the driver are unstoppable this year. So there's no competition for that. Look at this, you guys. I've done it. This is usually just such a little boring task. Okay, so all my plums are ready to go here. I am just gonna give them a glance over, which I already have, but what I'm looking for is any major blemish. There was one which I should have put aside. Huh? Shouldn't I have? And I didn't, but it looks a little bit blemishy, as long as it's not rotty, because if you put it in rotten, it's gonna be there for 9 months, potentially like rotting into your wine. The only way this wine goes wrong is if you don't sanitize and clean things properly, because then it leaves chance for bacteria to grow, right? And I've never had that happen, knock on wood. So I think it's pretty good. I actually got these plums from a farmer's market. I was very excited. So downtown Tokyo on Saturdays and Sundays, outside of Omotesando Station and Shibuya, there is a place called the United Nations University. And in front of it, on Saturdays and Sundays only, they do a farmer's market. And as soon as June hit, I was like, I'm going to this farmer's market and I'm gonna get umeshu from somewhere outside of where I normally get it from. So these are from Wakayama, and they look different than the ones I used last year, and they smell different. They kind of smell a little sweeter. I will go maybe a little less on the sugar because of that. Last year, I also threw in like a giant slab of ginger just to see if it would like add any flavoring to it. Okay, let me go sideways here. Xiao Zhen says, Martina, instead of combining the ume directly with shochu, have you ever tried making chong, fruit syrup, with ume instead and combine shochu later? Oh, that's a really good idea. So instead of it being alcoholic, you make it like a kind of condensed sugar taste, I'm guessing, and you spoon that in and you add shochu and soda. That's a really nice idea. No, I haven't. And I do actually have a smaller jar, but currently this is my only supply of ume. So first I'm gonna do my big boy jar, and then if I have any ume that I see later on, maybe I'll try like the sugared plum version without the shochu. Very interesting. Saul Lin says, Martina, I was wondering, how did you transport the umeshu to and from Japan, or did you leave it at a friend's place in Japan? No, I didn't take it back with me to Canada. So my first batch of umeshu that was in Japan, before I left Japan to go back to Canada for that year, I had an entire container that was unopened, and I was like devastated at the idea of having to throw it out or not take it with me. And so I sat down with a couple of friends and we just ripped through umeshu for a week. And so we enjoyed umeshu for the week, and that was it. And then I bought new containers when I came back. So these ones were from, I made it in 2022. Yeah, so these are last summer's umeshu, and then they are ready 9 months later or so. So this is all I have left here. But you can see the color difference. It gets like quite dark. This is my remaining container. Okay. Mark Posa says, Martina, I'm going through so much, and when I'm down, I'm always remembering your strength and your inspiration. Thank you. Well, thank you for saying that. And it actually goes both directions, because we've created this nice little like symbiotic circle of community, because when I feel down, then I think about all the people online that have been like, hey, I'm having such a rough time, and there's a million reasons why. And I'm getting through it because I'm, building a ladder, or I'm getting outside, or I'm sparkle lighting, or I've got a new hobby. And then when you guys say that to me, I go from lying on the couch, oh, I'm having a miserable day. And then I go, no, everyone else can push through it. You can push through it. You can get through this and find something positive, and, or throw a pity party, do it well, whatever you want to do. But so, it goes both ways. So I do something for you guys, and you guys do something for me. And then we all just try to keep each other from falling into dark pits all the time. I think we're doing a good job. Wind Up Fun says, can you do anything with the plums after they've been used for the umeshu? Okay, so I've heard that you can make a drunken jam. Like you can kind of like cook it and make like a jammy jam. I confess I tried that last night. I took the plums and I tried to let them boil down with some water. I added some sugar to it. It was just really, really tart and intense, and the color was disgusting. It was like baby puke green, and kind of weird and chunky, and it just did not look good. Maybe I overcooked it. I'm not sure, but I'll give it a go next year maybe to see if I can do something better. But I heard you can like, yes, but it doesn't like come off softly, if you know what I mean. So you have to really boil it hard, but I'm sure you can do something else with them. Some people keep them and cut them up and just eat them, but it's like you bite into it and you're like, woo, like it is strong. You know what I'm saying? See, Avalano, thank you so much for super chatting with this little fist bumping blue pair. And SS finally never made it to alive. Hi Martina, hello. And good morning. Katzin Tanzen. I like your King Kogi emojis that you're using here. Okay, we're going to move on to the next stage. So this is coming out of here. This is the container that I'm using, and I have washed it with scalding hot water and soap yesterday. And then today I put inside of it high proof alcohol. So this is like anything over like 30 proof. So like a vodka that's high proof. There's like a Polish vodka that's like 80 something proof, and it's just not good for drinking. I mean, maybe Polish people are like, it's great, but it's quite strong. And so I usually use it for sanitizing, Strolos, or anyway, something like that. And it's pretty cheap. And in this case, I'm using the white liquor that Japan uses. This is 35%. And so I'm just cleaning everything off, and I've cleaned the lid up. And so I'm gonna pop over to the sink behind me here and just give the rest of this a wipe down. You kind of wanna wipe all the edges to kill any bacteria. And I'm just gonna use some leftover alcohol and a clean cloth and just do some wiping. So I'm gonna slide on out, and you guys might hear me shouting from the other side where the sink is. Here I go. Ha, ha. She's made it out. And I'm into the sink. Oh, you can kind of see me. There you go. You think you guys can still hear me from here? Hopefully you can still hear me. One of the big things about jamming, jarring, or doing anything that preserves is that it needs to be super sanitized clean. Like if it's not, you just get growth, your whole batch rots. So what I'm doing is I'm rubbing alcohol even on the outside part. Like even though this is not where the inside's gonna be, I'm just gonna wipe it all the way down so it's completely 100% sanitized. And the edges, oh yeah. Guess I gotta take this one off now. Oh no, my June tag. June tag is coming off. Thank you, June Umeshu. Oh, this one was so good because I put a hunk of ginger inside of it, and like it seriously tasted amazing. It wasn't like mega gingery, but it had kind of like a spiciness. That's how I would describe it. Okay, alcohol is coming out. It's the final wipe down. Okay, this is feeling very sanitized, and it smells like boobs. I'm coming back. Boop. There we go. Oh, welcome, Ancient Flounder. How dare you not be here sooner? How dare you? Actually, what you missed out on was I tried to go live on Instagram to let people know I was going live, but when I did that, it stopped the live stream on the studio app. So now I feel like it never went live on Instagram, so nobody really knows that I'm here, which is fine. We don't need that many people. I just wanted a little bit of company, and it's been delightful. Thank you. Red Raven, your kitchen's so cute and lively. Thank you. I've been slowly growing things bit by bit, and you guys, I will show you afterwards my redonkulous avocado, which I don't know what to do with it. Like I'm gonna have to give it to somebody on a farm because it doesn't fit anymore, but I just ended up alcoholing my hands, so I don't want to touch stuff again. Hello from Malaysia. Hello, Shirlene. Very nice. I'm going to start layering this, and you guys can see basically how it goes. Hi, Martina. I used to watch from Poland, joining today from Koenji. Thank you for the nice vibes. Koenji fucking city. That's right, I swore on a live stream, but that's what Koenji is called. It's an amazing part of Japan if you don't already know it. It's a pretty close get to from Nakano. So if you ever go to Nakano Broadway, definitely check out Koenji afterwards. Thank you so much, Careless Cat, for super chatting. Okay. Julie's Maneko Neko. I love that you're so passionate about coffee. How do you compare the Japanese coffee scene to Toronto or anywhere you had a great experience? Toronto was actually great for coffee. I really enjoyed it. I have a million coffee shops in my little tiny folder. I don't know if hand drip coffee is as popular in Toronto, but the espresso scene is pretty amazing. They're quite good at making coffees like, you know, Americanos and lattes. And there's lots of little tiny indie shops. Like I just kind of walked all over Bloor and went down little alleys and until I like found places on my maps and stuff. So, I mean, Toronto, I'll eventually be making many more videos in, but I think the coffee scene is really, really great. Ann Quester says, what happened to the plum wine from the old house? I just told people this a little earlier. I drank it with my friends. We sat down, we polished that off, and that way I didn't have to throw anything out. No waste, no harm. And this is I have a second batch here that's not finished yet, but this is gonna be my new one. Okay, take your plums. This is so simple. You ready? You just take your plums, you just put them at the bottom, and we're just gonna layer our plums like this. Okay, that's enough. This is like a rock sugar. You guys can see it. I'm gonna cut it open and show you the size of it. The reason why you use this is just because it dissolves slowly. Take a look at the size of this. That's just sugar. Boop. So it's quite firm. I'm just gonna put a layer of sugar on top, and then I'm gonna put another layer of plums on top of that. Saw Lynn, I'm waiting for Martina to unceremoniously, that's right, unceremoniously dump your sugar on top of your ume. That's good. And now we're going to gently and with love place the plums on top. With little to no ceremony. Ah, it's too late. It's too late, I've said it. Dressy Spider says, curious, but should you use the sterilized tubes like thongs to add the plums, like tongs? You know, I did this, the first time I did this, I was so like meticulous, like gloves and scooping spoons and stuff like that. But once that you wash your hands and you've been coated in rubbing alcohol from like the cooking stuff, and the plums have been washed, and it'll be fine because we're going to be dumping alcohol on top of it. I took off anything, you know, like watches and rings and stuff like that so that I don't have anything getting in the way that way. And like so. It's pretty easy. I've never had a batch go bad on me, so that's good. Sugar is a natural preservative, just like salt and brining as well. And so sometimes that's enough, but we've got alcohol going on top of this. All right. And we're done. Isn't this pretty? How pretty is that? So pretty. Okay, we're gonna get our alcohol. Dressy Spider says, makes sense. I ferment hot sauce and probably sanitize a little too much. I'd hate to lose a batch. I don't really think there's too much sanitization. So if I was to choose a step to take, I would overly sanitize. When I do jamming and jarring, like when I jam and jar anything, it's like a mega sanitization. Like I'm using scalding hot washing machines to sanitize lids and jars, and then I'm using sanitized hot tongs because they're kind of like preserving inside of a glass jar. But I as long as I've rubbed everything down with rubbing alcohol or cooking and alcohol that's like high proof alcohol, I've washed this and heated this already. I've washed these. I always find it's okay in my hands, and so I didn't want to touch anything else, right? I know, Red Raven, the sugar rocks look really yummy. I've always had the urge to just like eat one. I never have because it's just probably pure sugar. Here we go. We're going in. And once you add all this in, and once this sits inside of it, as long as it's completely covered, it's okay. If there's like a plum up top that's not covered, then that's when you have a little bit more of a problem. I'm gonna put this in a cupboard in a dark place, and I'm gonna leave it alone. And after like a month or two, I'm gonna give it like a very gentle rotation. Shabloom blam. Ooh. And there you go. Anyone who's brave enough, go for that garlic alcohol. Just a good old glass of garlic alcohol. And there we go. Okay, this I have wiped down a ton to make sure that there's nothing, especially on even this rim part here. I'm gonna tighten this up. Okay, and gotta make a label, of course. Gotta make a label. It's June as usual. Yeah, it is weird to see alcohol in a container like that, but this is like a very a normal thing in Japan. You can get like shochu and many different types of alcohol. You can get sake like this, like a big container of milk sake, right? My Life by Julia in real life says, can you make it with brandy? You can do brandy, vodka, and this white liquor. Actually, what's funny is when you look at the Japanese labels or like the instructions on how to make it, it just says white liquor. Just that's it, just white liquor. But I know people who have done it with brandy before and it was totally fine as well. Oh yeah, decorative label. I'm gonna have to look at this label for 1 year. 1 year exactly. The Tall Fairy says you should put some cloves in a jar or a bit of musket. I definitely put some was it cloves, nutmeg, cinnamon before. Cinnamon disintegrated hardcore and got really grainy, so that didn't work. Even though I did like a stick, it just didn't pull through. The ginger was good, but not as strong as I wanted it to be. Like I kind of wanted it to taste gingery, but you just got this little bit of like almost like pepper hint at the end of it. So that was still nice, but yeah. Rabbitine, put some hairs on your chest drinking it out of the carton. Yeah, I bet it would. Malu Da Lila said, how long do you need to let it rest before you can drink it? You want to go for about 9 months, in my personal opinion. I've heard some people going through like 6 months to try to open it up, but 9 months and onwards is just better. It has like a rich, dark syrupiness to it, as opposed to it being like if it still has that alcoholiness, it hasn't quite seeped in, you know? William Chen, thank you so much for super chatting. Life has been tough for me, and all the videos that have been build a ladder. You visited Japan in April for the first time and have gone to lots of Tokyo tours recommendations and some EYK days. Thanks for all the fun, Martina. That's so good to hear, William. I'm really glad. I'm trying to think if April was a good month or if it was an insanity month. I mean, weather-wise and everything. Japan's been in that kind of like off and on stage. Right now, we're not deadly heat yet, but it's coming. It's coming, you guys. It's not dry hot, it's wet hot. And you are showering 2 to 3 times a day. You can never feel sexy again. You're just constantly like an outdoor dolphin, just like sleek all the time. Queen Cersei says, I started my Umeshu batch yesterday. I had to special order the plums since I live on Svalbard, close to the North Pole. Whoa! What's it like in, I hope I said that right, Svalbard? I hope so. You guys must have actual situations with like polar bears and stuff like that. I know that in a lot of up north places in Canada, they have polar bears that come into town, and it's like, that's a scary bear to deal with. That is a very scary bear to deal with. Ancient Flounder says it's 38 degrees Celsius here in Las Vegas. Not too long until we hit 42 and 43 consistently. Yeah, that's what we're heading towards as well. Rabbitine, how did your balcony fare in the typhoon? Oh, I had to take down the outside awning. So I had an awning out and I was like, it'll be fine. And then I looked at it and it was like lifting up and the clip came undone and I was like, oh shit. So I had to like run outside and roll it up and take down a bunch of my like flower pots and stuff. They did not look like they were gonna hang in there. There's different kinds of typhoons. Like you get typhoons in Japan that are windy but not very rainy. And then you get ones that are super rainy and windy, but the rain is the bigger concern. Like it's like too much rain. And then you get the ones that are kind of mid, like it's windy and rainy, but neither of them are like extreme. You got to kind of like find out which one it is. I think I'm going to call this one a King Kogi, the King Kogi crew batch, because we're all here. Yes, I also have a King Kogi sticker on it, so that's good. King, and I'll put a little crown on the king. Yes. Polar bears, that's my question exactly, right? Destiny says, Mississippi summer and Japanese summer seems to be cut from the same cloth. I'm a bright pink lobster in both locals. I'm going to Korea in July and I feel like I'm asking for it at this point. Yeah, I think Mississippi to me sounds like a wet, humid place, right? And I find that like people who can handle humid heat, or at least understand humid heat, it's not something you can get relief from, as opposed to dry heat where you can kind of like go into the shade or wear hats and umbrellas and it helps. Japan has like a dry heat and a wet heat at the same time, and so you can't escape it. You're just like da 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 and constantly just like wet. Queen Cersei, yep, you said it right. We legally have to carry flares and a shotgun. We're outside the village. Wow, that's amazing. That's like such an incredibly different life that you're experiencing. It's pretty amazing. King Kogi, we're going to do June 2023. I have only just recently started to write 2023 and not 2022. I don't know how long it takes your brain to click into like year mode, but once New Year's happens, I'm like, another year to memorize. The Jade 18 said, have you started fermenting? Oh, went past. Have you started fermenting your own kimchi after living in Korea for so long? I have. I came so close to making my own kimchi. I didn't know where to put it is the problem. So I don't have a lot of room living here. And I think if I'm back in Canada, I'll be able to ferment my own kimchi just because of the space. And I saw the funniest video online, and it was the funniest, most, like I had to hold back from saying anything because I didn't want to like pick a fight on the internet. But this person was making kimchi, and they were making it the way that everyone makes kimchi. They were using like, either you use like a baby pool, like inside, right? And you line it with plastic, or you can do plastic on the ground. Susie's parents used a bathtub that they lined with plastic, and then they put the heads of cabbage in it to salt first, right? And then you have like a baby mat, right? And so everyone's making the kimchi, and that's just how you do it. The comment section was like, ew, I can't believe you're making food in like plastic like that. And like, is that food safe? And that's so gross. Enjoy your microplastics. And I was like, what is wrong with these people? You're using it for like 20 seconds to just like move things around. You think that so many things in this world don't have plastic in it, and you're judging this like fermented kimchi because it's in a plastic I was ready to go like Korean netizen on them. And I was like, no, Martina. No, Martina. They don't understand how to make the kimchi. Flame Ember says, we used a baby pool and it was destroyed after one kimchi season. Yes, it becomes the kimchi thing. There are containers that I use in my fridge for kimchi when I buy it from K-Town in K-Town here, and I only use it for kimchi. Like, you can wash it as much as you want. Like, glass is the better thing because you can remove the smell. But if you're using plastic, it is become one with the kimchi, basically. Ancient Flounder, don't show them how udon gets made. I know. I udon is on my bucket list. You put them in like a plastic bag and throw it on the ground. You like stomp on it with your feet. Obviously it's in a bag, but people are like, right? Robin Leafer, people get mad when someone cooks without plastic gloves on. You can never win. That's so true. I've seen so many comments on sushi videos where it's like, oh, people in Japan cooking with their hands, like, where are the gloves? And I'm like, what do you mean? You think chefs are like picking their nose? Like they've cleaned their hands. They're making food. It's sanitary. Like, you get into a mindset where you don't like touch yourself anymore when you cook. Like, you kind of know, right? But I've seen people with gloves in other cultures like go to the cache with gloves on, and I'm like, the gloves don't help, you know? Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's right. Chelsea's like, now I gotta look up how to make udon. I know, just look it up. Hawaii 491 says, aloha from Hawaii. Very, very nice. Avery Bird says a study shows that it's actually more hygienic to not wear gloves because we don't wash our hands as much with gloves. That's true. I find that like when I'm in the kitchen cooking and I get like some kind of smell or something on my hands in between something, I'm back in the sink, elbows on, wrist to try to like wash my hands, and then I'm like back again and I have a little towel over my hands. Like I'm constantly washing and drying and cleaning the countertop, Yeah, exactly. Oh, Savannah, welcome. I'm glad that you have caught me. I've got the messages coming up on the screen in front of me, but it's so far away that you guys are like micro small. And so that's why I keep turning this way, because I have my laptop on this side over here to look at everybody. Yes. Sally Lau says, so happy to finally join a live. I remember you were into F1. Are you currently watching this season? Yes, I am watching this season. And I just mentioned a little bit earlier, I've caught every single one so far. I always watch the practices and the pre-race, like the warm-ups, the P1, P2, P3, and the qualies and everything like that. I pay for the yearly subscription, so I'm able to watch it over here, but really weird time zones is the only problem. I also just realized the card that I wrote on looks like one of those glossy cards that doesn't dry very well. So it's kind of smudged. See how it's like kind of smudged? I have to like really let this dry. Also, I have a really funny story for you guys. A couple days ago, my outdoor weather sensor, I have like a little tiny weather app that tells me the weather, right? And the moisture in the air. It died. It didn't work. It was like caught in a typhoon and it got soaked in rain. So I gave it a little like scrub off. And then I put it in a container with some sticky rice to absorb the moisture from it to try to save it. And the next day I took it out and it was saved. It works again. So I've used the rice, the rice technique for like if you've got a phone or something wet, I've used it before and it's worked. So I was really happy about that. But then I was like, well, now I'm in a conundrum because I have all this rice. I don't want to waste it. I'd like to cook it, but it's like sticky rice for making like mochi. I actually bought it for making samgaetang, which is like a Korean boiled chicken, and you kind of stuff it with like jujube. Jujube is not English. What are they called? Dates and nuts and stuff like that. And you stuff it in and you cook it, and then the inside is like this kind of sticky rice, and it's really delicious. So I had all this like extra rice hanging around. So I thought, okay, well, what can I do with this? Maybe I can make duck or mochi. Like duck is Korean rice noodles that you roll out into logs and you make tteokbokki with them. I was like, oh my God, great idea. So I looked it up online and I had to like dry the rice, had to soak it, then I had to grind it inside of like a blender, and I had to sift it, and I made rice flour, and I was like, I've done it. And they're like, dry it, make sure it's super dry. I'm like, all right. And then I learned how to cook it, put it in the microwave, and knead it. And I put together this whole little shorts video for you guys. Then I cut it, and I did all this stuff. And then this morning I made tteokbokki, and it was a disaster. The duck was so soft, it like disintegrated. So I had mandu, which is like Korean dumplings, and I had a hard-boiled egg, cabbage and onions. The broth that I made was really good, but the mochi, like the duck, just went like, and it became so sad. I actually think I have a box of it left. It's good to eat with like honey, but it was such a disaster. Oh no, I got rid of it. I got rid of it this morning. I forgot. Anyways, it was a disaster, you guys. Like the whole tteokbokki bowl, when I tried to scoop it, it was just like all these like pulling rice pulls, and yeah, it was pretty bad. So I learned my lesson. I think I overly watered it. I think I did too much water when I was cooking it, and I should have done less. It should have been drier to begin with. But anyways, it could have become songpyeon, which is Korean kind of like New Year's snacks. So it's like the sticky rice that's quite soft like mochi, and then inside they put this kind of sugary nuts and seeds kind of mixture, and then they close it up, and then when you bite into it, it goes like a gusher of delicious sweet sugary nutty magic. And that's what I could have made with the leftover bits, but they had already shaped up into little squares. But yes, Nemo's great-grandfather disintegrated tteokbokki is tragic. It was super tragic. The whole place, like I had to clean the bowl right away because it was becoming like adhered to everything. And my hands were just coated in sticky rice the whole morning. And yeah. Oh, from Suwon. Hi, Mr. Pengo. Suwon epi epiko. Suwon is in Korea, everybody. One of the first soccer games I ever went to in Korea was for Suwon, actually. Yes. Brad, thank you for super chatting. Konnichiwa! Oh, Saw Lin, how's the avocado plant I mentioned earlier? Yes. You guys ready for this? I don't know what to do with him. His name is Dorian Gray. He's becoming a tree. This is the size of one of the leaves. Can you see my face? It is really huge. He is a big boy avocado. Yeah. And other problem is that I got this amazing beer. It is a Deftones original beer, which I had to get because I love the Deftones. And it's a beaver, which is like so Canadian. And I put him inside of it, which he seems to like. And yeah, these three up here, these guys are new. This leaf is ridiculous. It's like pure Totoro style. It would protect me, right? He's a big boy, right? So he's definitely getting out of control. He's about to be bigger than the size of the space in the kitchen. And yeah, I was thinking of planting him, but I also had this really sudden concern. What if I plant this avocado plant somewhere outdoors in Japan and it like becomes an invasive species that takes over? Because just because the avocado is from overseas and you can eat it, that doesn't mean you could plant the seed, right? Like what if I leave Japan and then 10 years from now, they're like, avocado trees have taken over Tokyo. No one knows the originality of this, but it's been difficult to fight thus far. And everyone's like, we're trying our best. And there's like an airplane and they're like, the avocados are over to win the river. Back to you, Bob, in the studio. And they're like, back to you. And of course they don't speak English because they're Japanese, but that could be my fault. So that's my concern. Maybe I overthink things, but I don't really know. I'm a little bit concerned about the whole thing. That's right. I could cause an ecological collapse. I'm really honestly concerned about it, right? Yes, the Alexandra, the avocado will turn into a tree, but the problem is that it takes years before the avocados actually show up. Apparently it's like 3 or 4 years before the tree's even big enough to start making it. But yeah, I'm a little bit concerned. Vicky, hi from New Zealand. We grew an avocado from seed. The fruit isn't very nice and not true to the seed, but it fruited in a couple of years. Oh, okay, yeah, so see, it takes a couple of years and stuff. Yeah, so that's my deep concern about the whole thing. But at the same time, I can't take any plants back to me with me when I move to Canada eventually or wherever I'm going, but it's likely Canada. And I don't want to like just leave them somewhere. So I'll have to give all my friends, I have to start like prepping friends in advance to be like, all right, whenever it is I leave Japan, you get the avocado plant Dorian Gray. Oh, and I never even told you about Dorian Gray. He's listening. His name is Dorian Gray because I have grown 3 avocado plants so far. One is over by my table, the other one is here, and the other one is gone now. He's passed on to another dimension. And the reason this happened is because the first avocado I grew was doing great. He was very ganky, loving life. And then I planted him outside in soil because everyone's like, oh, they prefer soil over water. So I planted him in soil and got another avocado. And then I noticed that the outdoor avocado started to grow these little leaves, and then the leaves below would die. And then the inside plant would get like a little bit greener. And then the one outside would grow 2 more little leaves, and the leaves underneath it would die. And it just kept going like this, like growing and dying and growing and dying. And I tried plant nutrients and everything. And then this one kept doing better. And in the portrait of Dorian Gray, this man makes a deal with a demon, and the picture gets old, but he stays young. And so I think that this is Dorian Gray, and the outdoor avocado was his source of sunlight, and he magically killed it. That's my story. We don't know. We don't know what this avocado does in his free times, but that's what I'm saying. That's right, Barbara Bond. He could have a portrait in the closet that we don't know about. It makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. Miss Hurryuff, hello from Finland. I have only planted potatoes and carrots, which went horrible. They were the smallest and saddest carrots ever. We gotta always, try and then figure out where we went wrong. I always think it's funny when you see these lush gardens and everyone has all these amazing crops, but then when you try it yourself, you're like, this is much harder. Like my tomato plant that I planted, it went on for like a year. I don't know how it made it through the winter. Like I covered it in plastic and like went outside to see if it was okay, but it went through and became a micro tomato plant. I got tomatoes like this big out of it, super tiny, like handfuls of tiny tomatoes, like the size of blueberries. It was great. I mean, it wasn't my plan, but like micro tomatoes. Geeky, you're pink. Hello from Spain. Oh, Queen Cersei says HEDS can be a challenge on Svalbard, but worth it for me. Love the tundra, and so do my dogs. Oh man, you've got HEDS and you're up north, but goes to show you that you can get through anything. You just got to figure out how, right? Because cold weather for me is actually not too bad on my joints. I know for a lot of people it's quite painful. Cold weather is okay for me. It's the barometric pressure changes that hurt me the most. But I think every human's different, right? So we all feel different squeaks and pains in our bodies, and some people get headaches and some people don't. So I think it just depends on who you are as a person and how your body is affected by these things, right? Oh, I see everyone likes the Dorian Gray name. Excellent, yes. Destiny says, I've noticed that this year my tomatoes have been infested by slugs, but Timothy, the tomato continues on growing in my garden. Destiny, you know what my granddaddy and I used to do? We used to go out at nighttime with a helmet light, like a forehead light, and a bottle of soapy water. And we would go through the garden and we'd look for slugs and we'd spray them with water that has a bit of dish soap in it. And the slugs would slide off and they couldn't attach to the plant, but it didn't kill them, but it didn't encourage them to stay. And so that's what we did every night. We'd go around and we'd spray all his plants with this lightly diluted soap water. I have no idea if this is true and if it will work in all cases, but it seemed to work for my granddaddy. Amanda Cagle says, I've noticed my fibro pain is much worse in the summer. I personally find things worse in the summer too. Like if it's hot out and I'm really overheated or itchy from salty sweat, I find that my eczema flares, my everything flares up, my legs get covered. It's heat for me seems to be worse. I think I'm just a Canadian gal. I love the cold weather. Oh, spitting chicken. My brother and I did the same. We went slug hunting at 11 p.m. during the summer. Yeah. See? Oh my gosh. I guess it still can work, right? Malua Delilah says, I will go study for university now. Glad I could catch up for a bit of your live stream. Thank you for your positive energy as usual, and I hope you have a great day. Well, thank you very kindly. It is currently a very, very gray day outside. It's been a very gray couple weeks. I'm looking outside and I just it looks like it's gonna rain again. I need to figure out what I'm gonna make for dinner and get to the grocery store before it gets stormy and crazy out there, Good night, Jules. Maneki Neko, have a good night. Elixir says, I was cutting back my basil the other week and discovered a burrowing wasp. We looked it up and apparently it was a really good pest control. Get yourself a burrowing wasp. That's so cool. I'm having a problem with my my plant outside right now, whose name I can't remember. I called it a hydrangea 7 times, and every time I was like, it's not a hydrangea. It's the official flower of Hawaii. That one with the whoa and little tiny, help me out here. That one is covered in little tiny black gnats, and I've tried everything. I have 3 different sprays that I'm putting on it, and they're always just nah, super cozy. I go out and a hibiscus. Yes, it's a hibiscus. Thank you, everybody. I have a toothbrush that I have from just a throwaway toothbrush from a hotel. I always keep those, and I clean my shoes and I clean my plants with them. So I scrub my plants to try to get the pests off. Oh yes. Thank you, hibiscus. Oh, there's even a hibiscus emoji. Beautiful. Miss Hereth says, I'm making chicken katsudon for dinner. I can recommend. Oh, that sounds really nice. So you're breading it up and frying it and putting it on top of the rice. That's a good idea. That's a pretty great idea, actually, now that you said that. But I kind of feel like I need to get even with my Korean fail today because I failed making tteokbokki from scratch. Part of me feels like I need to somehow make pajeon or do something Korean so I can be there, I've recovered. It's not one of those write-off days, right? Oh, Inge says, I just bought some hibiscus liquor in Luxembourg. Huh. I've never heard of hibiscus liquor. I wonder if it would be sweet or if it would just smell nice. Would it be alcohol but has a floral hit and then you drink it and you go nah, the garlic liqueur? Good morning, the Dollface. Coffee for you. Good morning from wherever you are in the world. Oh, Anna says, Tamago Sando is life. I'm surprised it's legally allowed to be that good. Yes. The convenience store scene in Japan is not a joke, and I am really excited to visit Korea again because I heard the konbini scene in Korea, which is konbini's convenience store, I heard that it's changed big time and that there's bento boxes and stuff like that. When I was there, they had the samgak like the onigiri for Korea, the triangle. And they had lots of like, cup ramens and snacks and like sausages and that kind of stuff. But they didn't really have box set meals that you could take to go. The bento box wasn't really there at all. So you mostly worked on upgrading your ramen, right? Ramen hacking. And of course, street food is everywhere, so it's good. But like, I heard that, yeah, the convenience stores are changing. So I'm not sure how many people that are in Korea, because there's someone from Suwon and someone else that's from Japan in the Korea in the live chat as well, right? Japchae, good idea for a redemption meal. I do have dried japchae noodles, my sweet potato noodles in the cupboard, which I could. Oh, welcome. Akari Hime, you will become a passenger on the King Kogi airship. Welcome. Glad to catch you a live stream while in Japan. Thank you for joining. You now have a bunch of King Kogi emojis that you can work with in the typing section. They're adorable. You guys have a husky cafe, Queen Cersei? That's amazing. That would be so wonderful. Eli says that, oh my God, yes, the GS25s are taking over. Oh, okay. Oh, really? Doshidaks are amazing. I'm in Korea, says Alejandro. Okay, so the doshidaks used to be something that you could only get, like, if you went to a restaurant and then afterwards you're like, can I get the doshidak? And you'd like shake it up and eat your food in this box. It's like a little metal kind of box. It's a bento, but it's a Korean version. But they did not have any like actual takeout ones. So that's totally amazing. I'm going to try to go to Korea soon because I don't want it to be super, super duper hot. And I have a lot of friends to catch up with, which I'll definitely film a video when I'm there. But it can't be like a pure, like what to do because I haven't been there for so long. So I'm out of the loop. It's going to be what I do in Korea as opposed to, what you should do. But yeah, I'll definitely be in Korea. I'm sure you'll see they'll be up on Instagram and stuff like that and YouTube. I'll be like, I'm in Korea, catching up with everyone. All my friends have been visiting me from Korea. Everybody but Nick from Nick and Hugh haven't been able to come across. But my other friends have come across for work and stuff. So it's been so nice to catch up. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, I just flashed by. Jason says, oh, when you plan on visiting Korea. Okay, yeah. No, so that's what I was saying. Yeah, Konbini culture is pretty intense. Sally Lou says, we'll be getting any new King Kogi radio. King Kogi radio, right, not for the airship, but for my music in general. I have like 5 songs on the go that I haven't put out yet. I've just been like puttering away at them, including my Sailor Mood song. I've been really up to my eyeballs working on all the Tokyo tours and the amount of time it takes to film them and edit them and voiceover. The production value is like a little bit higher up than what I used to do. So it's been taking up a lot of time, but I've been enjoying it. It's been something that I've been able to be like, I really want to film here, or I really want to do this. And it's been nice to have that kind of freedom to just be like, I want to do this, and then being able to do it. It's been really exciting. And, I've also been in the kind of, semi-second guessing myself for a while, like, oh, should I put this up? Will they like this? Oh, I don't know. And I've been like, scared to post up tons of stuff on the internet all the time. I've been a little bit on the hesitant side. So I'm still getting back to feeling like myself again, where I'm like, yeah, I can post this or I can do this. And I'm still working on a cooking book on the side. I just haven't had the time, honestly. Like, there's not enough woman power to do all this. But I've been taking notes. I've been writing recipes out. I found all my recipes from the Eat Your Kimchi blog that got lost, that I was like devastated. They were my only copy. And so I found them and I had to type them up again. And I got them through like a time machine website that like does a throwback to time. And it shows you like an archive section of, isn't that crazy? So yeah, I found them and the format is terrible, so I had to reformat them. So I'm starting to like put those together again and retest them out. And yeah, so I've got like a million recipes on the fly that I've been practicing. And then eventually I hope to put out my doodly cookbook. And I've been doodling and drawing. So if you're a part of the memberships, like I give out recipes and stuff and I usually doodle. So it's kind of a nice practice for me to see, how do I lay something out visually so that you can see it and it's cute and it's fun and it sparks joy, but you can also read the recipe. I don't want it to be like, Martina, what are you trying to say? Why is this carrot and this banana coming together? And I'm like, no, that's not a carrot. So yeah, that's what I'm working at. Shirley and Octavia, you said, let's go. And in my head, I only picture F1. I'm like, let's go. Let's go. Yes, that's what they always do. Yeah. Jason Me says, I've never been to a Danish 7-Eleven. A Danish 7-Eleven sounds like it would be more charming than, let's say, an American 7-Eleven. Yeah, I wonder. I don't think I ever went to a Danish 7-Eleven, but I know that a lot of places in Denmark and Norway, Sweden, Finland, you guys have the pastry scene down, man. I mean, the pastries are awesome. And I love like the cinnamon and cardamom kind of flavors. And what is it for fika in Sweden? Like, we've got to have fika. You got to stop for like coffee and sweets with your friends. I think that's a really nice kind of culture. Yeah, I really like it. Spinning Chicken's like, it's not charming. The 7-Elevens didn't make it. William Chen said, Martina, have you been playing Tears of the Kingdom? No, I haven't. I have been, number one, avoiding my Animal Crossing island because I feel guilty about redecorating for cherry blossom season. And I replanted all these trees and the village looked amazing and everybody was happy. And then I was like, oh, I gotta go back and clean up. And then I just got scared and didn't. So this is a normal Animal Crossing thing I think that most of us feel. Where you feel like stressed out about cleaning your Animal Crossing island once you've put out like themes. Like you do like Christmas, and then after Christmas you're like, oh, I have to take down 8 million decorations that I've built. But I kind of go through phases when it comes to that kind of thing. Yes, I am sorry. Your only destiny, you've missed the winemaking. Here it is. This is the wine that I've made. This is the current one. This is the after. So it's going to go that dark. You guys can see the difference in these two, right? I need to put this somewhere into a cupboard to let it like gently think about what it's done and to pull out all the plummy goodness and push it off into the alcohol and create this excellent little mix of sweet and sour and tart. It's just such a nice little combo of things. I definitely. Yeah, Traveler in Blue is like, yes, I left Animal Crossing, too much work. I haven't left it. I really enjoy Animal Crossing. I love going on. I just kind of pick different things to do. Like one day I'm like, I'm going to redecorate this whole area and create like an elevated garden. And other times I'm like, I just need to clean up the beach. And I like run around and collect seashells. And I can't seem to collect all the stupid fossils for the museum. Every time I give it to Blathers, he's like, what a shame. We already have this for our collection. And I'm like, Blathers, how many bones are on this island? Why can't you do it yourself with your little cute wings? So there are times when you need to take a step back from Animal Crossing when you start yelling at Blathers. I'm sorry, Blathers. I didn't mean to yell at you. He's so cute. I love Blathers. I got him from 7-Eleven in Japan. Could not believe my luck. Speaking of which, you guys, wait. Last thing before I head off and get some food before it starts raining. Oh, wait, I got some questions here. Petrie says, and can you eat the plums in the alcohol when the wine is ready? Or do you eat the ume after soaking it, or you just drink the umeshu? I see all these questions. You can try to eat the ume afterwards. It's really crunchy still. It's very sour, and it is not like a delicious, yummy taste. I've heard some people will like chop off the edges and make like a little rough boozy salad, or you can make a jam. And I just told everyone earlier that I tried to make a jam last night with my old batch, and it just became really gross and didn't taste that great. And I was like, and so I had to kind of like dump it. But other than that, you can, it's not going to kill you, but I think it probably wouldn't taste great and not be great for digestion in the end, right? Exactly. So Lynn says, Martina, I've realized that your editing style has changed a lot. Do you still want to keep some parts like funny sound effects and funky music, or do you think that's something you want to leave behind? I still really enjoy sound effects and all that kind of stuff. So I have a whole sound effect pack that I keep for certain things, you know, like bing bing or like burp burp or like honk and stuff like that. But I know that there is a longer process to adding in things like sound effects, and I don't want it to necessarily be as quick and fast as it used to be, because I think before YouTube was kind of in this era where like videos had to be like fast and quick, and now TikTok and Instagram are kind of doing that, right? But I want people to be able to feel like they can sit back and kind of like watch it unintrusively if it's the morning or the evening. That's why I try to put the quizzes and then the ad breaks in between it, so that you're not being like abruptly interrupted by an ad. And so it takes a lot more work to like hand lay everything out, but I want you to feel more just like chill watching it. So I still put in some sound effects and stuff depending on the moment, but And it depends on the video. Like if I do a more off the cuff kind of casual, funny video, I can add in the sound effects. But yeah, it's just, you know, kind of phases of editing that you go through and what you want to put into a video, like how you're feeling and stuff, right? The Jade18 says, love you, Martina. Take care of yourself. If you're going to sleep, have a good night, everybody. I think that I gotta start going soon because it is getting dangerously gray outside and I do not want to get caught in the rain. Oh, hi, Izzy. Ayo, what's up? I'm just heading out along with everybody else, so I am sorry. Afrain says, do you ever think about moving back to Korea? I don't think I would move back to Korea. I would recommend anybody any day to visit Korea. What a great vacation. Had an amazing time. I've had a good Korea experience during a certain time period. Dare I say, the greatest of the K-pop era, the beginning, the peak, the most magical time period. And I experienced all that blooming of the Korean dramas, and what a time period, you know. I don't think I could ever rematch that experience. And Mr. Spudgy, Spudgy. So I don't think I could match any of these like moments and experiences. But I will be going back to vacation. I'm gonna visit my friends very soon. I've been chatting with them. So yeah. Sorry that you guys have missed some of it. Oh no, Stargirl's like, what a Canadian sorry. No, my sorry. Thanks for joining me, everybody. This would have been like pretty boring to do on my own. It was so nice to have some company, and I know I haven't done a live stream in a while, so it was just really nice to chat. Yeah, that's it. That's my story. I'm gonna have to waddle up to the camera and turn it off, so you're gonna get like 90% Martina face. We'll be able to track this all together, you guys, and see how it turns out. Giant head. There we go. Take a look at how gray it is outside. It's just gray skies. Where's the go off button? There's my avocado, by the way. It's ridiculous. Okay, I can figure this out. I swear I'm a YouTuber. Good night, good morning, good day, everybody. And yeah, see you on the internet.